I'm outside the house that is now being searched where this subject lived, we're told. There was a traffic stop close by. This is the subject being questioned in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This is Josephina.
Yes.
This is her house, and the subject is her son-in-law.
Yeah,
is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me how this happened. Where was he when he was detained?
My daughter and him were, and the kids, my grandkids, were doing DoorDash when they got stopped here, and I don't know what kind of questions they asked them.
Overnight, a frenetic chain of events in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie. Late Tuesday night, a person the sheriff called a subject was detained for questioning south of Tucson during a traffic stop. Hours later, a man in front of cameras at his home said he was that subject and had just been released. CBS's Andres Gutierrez was there when the man, who only identified himself as Carlos, spoke to reporters.
What kind of questions were they asking you?
Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So late last night, they detained somebody who they think is responsible for all this. Come to find out, they let him go, and he's claiming he had nothing to do with it. He doesn't even know who Nancy or Savannah is. Well, I'm going to break down why they probably pulled him over and what they're probably doing compared to other cases and things that you probably don't know about what law enforcement will do to you to catch you. Not only that, there's other people out there in the world missing, a lot more other people. But for some reason, you don't see him on YouTube. Stay tuned. Welcome to Fugitive TV. I'm your host, Ray Marcel, where we take a look at cases of crime, unsolved mysteries, missing people, and we take a look at them from a different perspective because I was once a fugitive on the run from the law myself. I did it for 15 years before I turned myself in. I lived in different countries under different names. I did a lot of things and then ended up getting locked up for white collar crime, all kind of things. But in my experience of maneuvering in that underworld, you can say, I've learned a lot. Well, I've done a lot of videos on Nancy Guthrie. I think maybe the last week, but who hasn't? A main media, YouTube creators, everything. But I've been giving you guys a little different perspective of maybe what has happened with the intruder who did this, things like that. Well, if you don't know, you can go back and look at some of my other videos. I even did an interview with somebody who's actually in prison doing life right now. All they did was abduct people. They did it in South America, on the other side of the border. Well, they detained a person last night responsible, they should say who they think could be responsible for Nancy Guthrie, to question him. Now, the thing about this is he was detained, and I think it was Rio Rico, Tucson. Rio Rico, I don't know if it's Rio Rico or Rio. Rio Rico, Tucson is actually right by the border. In my other videos I told you guys before, I showed you guys a map that the border from Tucson to Mexico was only about an hour and a half drive, less than that, depending on what traffic looks like, okay? And I told you guys, I would not be shocked if they took Nancy to that border because it is easy to cross that border. That is one of the easiest borders to cross. I know from personal experience, all right? And even if you don't cross the border regularly, there is tunnels that go from one side of Arizona underneath to Mexico. And these tunnels are not that long because the border is right there. It's just a fence that separates everything. So there will be houses on the other side, on let's say the American side of Arizona. And sometimes these houses down below in a makeshift basement will have a tunnel, and you can go through the tunnel and then end up right on the other side of Mexico. And that's how a lot of things get transported through these tunnels, okay? Well, you can also cross if you want, and some of the border, it's easier to cross into Mexico than it is America. You can even pay some of these agents off just to cross into Mexico if you really want to, all right? Now, I'm not saying go and do that, but I'm saying it's possible, okay? But I always thought that maybe she was taken down there because there's not too many ways to get in and out of Tucson. I think you only have maybe one or two major highways. I've been there plenty of times, and that is it. So it's not like New York City or LA where there's all these different routes. It's not like that. It's different. So I always said if Nancy Guthrie was taken, she might have been taken either to the mountains or south to the border. And if none of those things, she still could be close by. I'm talking about within the same neighborhood or the area and possibly a neighbor, but who knows? We went over the suspects, which I'm going to go over them again. But they did obtain somebody last night and then they released him. So I'm going to tell you why they probably did this, but take a look at what this guy has to say.
What happened? They arrested me for kidnapping, which I don't know what's going on.
So what? How did this?
I'm from Rio Rico, as you can see, and it's Pima County Sheriff's.
And so what? How did this all start? How did they stop you here? You were driving here,
No,
or
my wife was driving.
Your wife was driving
because they were following me. And once I saw they were following me, I pulled over. They didn't even have to put a traffic stop or anything. I got off the car, and they arrested me as soon as I got out the car. They didn't even tell me what was going on until the detectives got here, like 2 hours before I got arrested. And then the detectives got here. It was the FBI agent in Santa Cruz County, and they told me I was being detained for kidnapping. And I asked them, like, well, kidnapping of who? And they told me this lady, I don't know her name. And
Nancy Guthrie?
yeah, that's her. And I told him I work in Tucson for GLS. I might have delivered a package to your house, but I never kidnapped anybody. They hold me from like 4 to right now.
So it was about 4 o'clock, and they're holding you to right now. So after midnight. Did they tell you anything? I mean, you're in the back of the truck.
They didn't tell me anything until right now. Like I said, like the beginning, they answered they wanted me to answer their questions, like where I was, what hours, and all that. And I answered the questions. And right now, all they told me is that I'm free to go.
So do you know? Had you heard of? And Danny, do you want us to come closer to you here?
Yeah, come over here.
So we'll just walk. Sorry, I just want to clear this up because they're making a big stick.
What's your name, brother?
Carlos.
Carlos?
Yeah.
I'm Ford. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
And Carlos, you mind sharing your last name?
Nah,
No, you're good? Yeah. So Carlos. So walk me through it. They had you here. I know you just said it. Had you heard of Nancy Guthrie before tonight?
Never until today.
Never until today.
Yeah.
So
I didn't. They told me I watched the news and I Googled her number or her name and I prove it to me, and they couldn't prove it to me. Like they didn't have no it was insufficient evidence. Like they only had a phone on me. That's all they had. And supposedly I was at her house, but like I said, I work delivering packages for GLS. I might have delivered a package to her house.
But didn't kidnap anybody?
No.
So what's going through your head when they're telling you kidnapped somebody?
Shit, bro, I'm facing life. I'm gonna lose everything.
And so they have all this. They detain you. You're here for hours. And what did they just tell you?
That I'm free to go.
Free to go.
Yeah, and Pima County, they already cleared me, but the FBI, they might not or something like that. I don't know. I'm still like.
So Pima County's let you go. They said the FBI may be in contact with you or something like that.
They didn't say something like that. They just the detective in charge right here. I don't remember his name. He told me that they're not looking into me no more, but somebody else might.
Okay. Obviously, you said you hadn't followed this news. This is big, major news. It's Nancy Guthrie, who's her daughter is Savannah Guthrie, who hosts the Today Show on NBC. So it's been big news. She's been missing for more than a week. So they have put out, the Pima County Sheriff's Department put out that they had detained a person of interest. And I guess that's you?
I guess so.
How do you feel about that? People are watching this all over. I mean,
I'm not happy.
I'll show you here. Look, this is what they put out earlier. He's just getting a shot.
South of Tucson. I wasn't stopped at South of Tucson.
So I guess south of Tucson is where you are here in Rio Rico?
I guess so.
And so, yeah, that went out everywhere. And you see, they got all sorts of people talking about it.
Yeah, no, well, I'm innocent. I'll let you know that.
Yeah,
I'll tell you that. I didn't do anything. Like I said, I didn't even know what was going on until the FBI and the Pima County detective arrived, and they told me, well, you're being detained for kidnapping, and all of a sudden they read me my Miranda rights. Now you're being under arrest. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
And now free to go.
Yeah, now I'm free to go.
Oh, man. What a night, huh?
Bro, tell me about it.
And your family's doing all right? You got to see them?
Well, they broke into my in-laws' house. Now we gotta go, like, to...
How did they come up on you?
I don't know.
Like, what, were you just driving around?
Yeah, working.
Yeah, they said you're delivering DoorDash?
GLS.
Oh.
How'd they pull up on you? Like,
nah, I pulled up on them. They were following me. Yeah, they were following me. Marana. This is Santa Cruz County, and Marana was down here. It's like, come on, 2 and 2.
and so then when they came up on you, what did they say? Like, what did When they finally told you this had to do with some kidnapping, like what were you thinking?
Like, what the am I doing here? I didn't do anything. To be honest, like, I'm innocent.
And you don't even know who the lady is? Do you know who Savannah Guthrie is?
No.
Nothing.
I don't follow the news.
Right.
I don't watch.
You don't watch the Today Show?
No.
So this was a complete shock.
It was.
So what are you going to do now?
I don't know, try to clear my name. I didn't do anything.
Well, this
What's your name again? And I hope they get the suspect, because I'm not it.
And the subject is her son-in-law.
Yeah,
is
my
that right?
son, yeah.
Tell me how this happened. Where was he when he was detained?
My daughter and him and the kids, my grandkids, were doing dashing when they got stopped here, and I don't know what kind of questions they asked them. But when we got home, I wasn't at home. When we got home, we found out that they took my son out. They went inside, they busted the doors from my house. They went inside and took my son to the living room and had him handcuffed, and then got him outside. That's when the time that we got home, and we asked what was going on, and they couldn't say anything. And they said, and I asked him to have a search warrant to go in my house, and they said we don't need a search warrant. We could go do that if we want to. So I told them, yeah, I think you need a search warrant. Why did you break my door? You took my son the wrong way. I mean, you hurt him. His wrists were with the handcuffs.
Let me ask you, were you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie case? Had you seen that she was missing?
Like I told you, I saw it on Facebook, but since I don't know her, I didn't read what was going on. The story.
Did they take electronic devices at all? Or did they take your phone?
I don't have anything. They took my phone.
They
took my phone, my husband's phone, my daughter's phone, my grandkid's phone, and my son-in-law's phone.
Let me show you these pictures really quick, Josefina, of, just give me a second, I gotta pull them up on my phone. These are the pictures from outside Nancy Guthrie's house. This is who they're looking for. Do the eyes look like your son-in-law at all?
No, not at all.
Do you see the mouth?
Yeah, no. He doesn't look that at all.
Brian, can you ask what her son-in-law's
what's
name
his
is?
name?
It's Carlos. Carlos Palazuelos.
Sorry, what's his name?
Carlos.
Carlos.
Yes.
And what's his last name?
Palazuelos.
Okay.
I don't know, yeah. So.
And does he work in Tucson? Would he ever be in Tucson?
He's in Tucson all week. He works delivering boxes for like UPS and he works with a company. And I told him you can call the company that he works there and verify that he's working.
Now, as you see, he's saying he has nothing to do with it. He doesn't know who Nancy is and doesn't know who Savannah is. I'm not saying he did it, and I'm not saying he didn't do it. But even if he did do it, of course he's going to say that. And not only that, there's a lot of people who don't know who Savannah is, because a lot of people don't watch the Today Show, especially for people who work. Okay, so if he is working and doing deliveries for FedEx or whoever they said he was working for, he's probably up in the morning loading the truck and has no time to watch Today's Show. I know who Savannah is only because I'm in this space. I don't watch the Today Show though. I don't. When I'm up that early, I'm busy doing other things. I have other businesses that I run, so I have no time to watch her. But I know who she is only because of the space that I'm in. So I'm not shocked if a person says they don't know who Savannah is. Some people don't know who Brian Enton is. Some people don't know who Geraldo Rivera is. Some people don't even know Harvey from TMZ. So just because they might be famous to us, there's other people out there that have no time to watch TV. Some people don't even have a TV. I know a couple people that don't have a TV in their house. Not because they're poor, they just don't have a TV. They don't watch it. So I do understand that part. Now, there is some speculation exactly what happened, okay? So from my reports and from what I found out was, he was driving, working. I think he was doing DoorDash or something like that. But anyway, he was driving. He got pulled over, okay? Well, technically, he didn't get pulled over. Supposedly, they were following him. He saw they were following him, so he pulled over his car. Supposedly, they never even turned on the lights. He pulled over on his own. Like, why are you guys following me? So they pull him over. They put cuffs on him and they put him in the back seat. Supposedly, he was never questioned or nothing like that. But they took his phone. They found out where he lived. And then they went to the house. Now, there's conflicting reports. Supposedly, they had no search warrant, but went into the house anyway, looking and grabbed phones. All right. Now, The whole reason why phone is important is because of communication. We all know this because they want to see who they're texting, messaging, emailing, things like that. That makes sense. Not only that, they're probably looking to see if any of them has a Bitcoin wallet. Remember the ransom note, okay? Which we're going to get on that because TMZ did get a third note. So bear with me. So they're probably looking to see if he has some sort of Bitcoin wallet or something like that, or anybody in the house does, all right? To see if he's been sending these ransom notes or it has anything to do with it. Something that the law does that we don't hear of much. Now we all hear phone pings, right? Did the phone ping to the cell tower? Did it ping here? Now that part we do hear of all the time. But here's one thing a lot of people don't know. The phone pinging, okay, when they get really detailed, it could be all the way down to a certain location. A lot of people think it's just a radius, like a big mile radius. No, they can actually ping down to a certain location, all right? For example, the Kata Scott case that some of you guys might be familiar with that's been watching me for a while, that went on in Philadelphia, okay? Kata Scott went missing. She was a beauty pageant hopeful, and the person that's arrested right now, before they arrested him, they pulled him over, all right? And the reason why they pulled him over was to see if his cell phone pings to the area they pulled him over for, because the phone he was using pinged to the last location where Kata Scott was at. So they wanted to make sure they had the right individual. So they pulled him over. Not only that, was it Brian Kohlberger that just got found guilty or accepted the plea deal for, was it the Idaho 4? Out of Idaho, right? You guys let me know. I always confuse Idaho and Utah, but I think it's Idaho. If you remember, he got pulled over on the highway, okay, with his father going to his father's house out of state. And they pulled him over the same reason, to see if his phone was pinging. All right, his phone pinged at the location where the everybody was unalived at. So let's see if it pings here. So that could be a reason why they're pulling this person over. Maybe they have some sort of clue that his phone pinged and they're trying to see if his phone pings there. Now, this man is a delivery driver. I heard reports that he also delivers in Tucson sometimes. So did he deliver in that area? We don't know for sure. But that could be a reason of why they never question him. They just want to see if something ping goes on. And then what happens is they let him go. And now they got this evidence. And now they have to bring it back to the data analysis people to see if it's actually his phone that's pinging or anybody else's phone that could be connected. So that could be a reason. So we don't know if he did do it or didn't do it. Okay. So like he said in the interview, he hopes they catch the suspect so his name could be cleared. He told you right there himself, his name is not cleared, which means they can come back and arrest him. Now, do I think he did it? I don't know. If he did do it, do I think he was involved with somebody else? Yes. I think whoever they catch might be involved with somebody else. I still think it's more than one person. Think about this. If Nancy is alive, if she's alive out there, and somebody is holding her, somebody has to go out and get food. Somebody has to go out and get water. Somebody has to go out and get supplies, which means if they go out and get this stuff, Nancy's by herself? No, somebody's watching her. Usually this is the way this stuff works. Somebody gets abducted, it's usually more than one person. Not only that, even at the house, we see that one person on the video, but they also said the back door was left open. Why is the back door left open, but the person's coming to the front door all nonchalantly, not scared, but looking around, patiently like they've been there before, taking the cam down. And you saw the trail of blood right there in the front. So why would there be blood in the front if they took her out the front and the back door is open? So why would they do that? My theory is maybe there's two people involved. One person might have went through the back. Who knows? They could have been in the house. Why this person's messing around with the camera, we don't know. This person could have been in the back of the house already with Nancy. Why this person's messing around with the camera? They probably took the camera off so they can pull a car up front or pull a car close by, because you got to remember, Nancy's 84 and her mobility is not the greatest, so they can put her in a car. If she was walking and was mobile. Now, if she wasn't walking and they had to carry her, think about this. What if the person, they don't talk about this much. What if they had to carry her outside the house? What is the easiest way to carry her? The back door or the front door? What is the easiest way for a car to get out? Her driveway's in like this U-shaped, right? You could pull in and hurry up and pull out. But then off the U, she has garages, so you can keep going straight to the garage where they said her garage door opened up and closed that night, right? So think about this. If it was me and I'm pulling in a car and you went there, I wouldn't want my car to stop there. First of all, you might see the lights from the car on that camera. So I wouldn't want my car to stop there, because now you only have one way out. You got to back up, unless they backed in, which is possible, but you got to back out, right? I don't like that. If I was to do it, I would come in from the U, have my car right there in front of the door so I can get in my car and hurry up and zoom out, or come out this way. Now, at least I got two ways to get out. Somebody has to block me in two ways, okay? If you go in by the garages, now you're only blocked in one way. There's no multiple ways to get out. So the easiest way possibly would be through that front door, especially if you're carrying somebody or you got equipment, which that backpack is full. And I said that in my last video. They have supplies in that backpack. That backpack was not for a thief to go rob somebody, because where are they going to put the things at? That backpack was full. So there's probably, I call it the abduction kit, is in the backpack. It might even be more weapons. It might be sheets. It might be tarp to cover up certain things. Let's say something happened in there, plastic. They came prepared. Now, I don't know if, excuse me, if they abducted anybody before. That part I'm not sure of. But it looks like they probably have been to that house just by how calm they were, and they probably have also broken into a home before. All right, so some people have been going on the whole tomato perk, the Ann's husband, the son-in-law, that he's responsible because supposedly he owes debt. My last video I brought up, for some reason, during the sale of the house, Tommaso made Anne pretty much in control. It was a power of attorney that Anne was in control of his finances, but that expires in April. So why would they do that just for a year? I don't get that part. That doesn't make sense. And some people really can't answer that question because I guess it's unheard of. I am not sure on that one. But why would you do that? Does he have a gambling problem and maybe she's in control of his debt for that reason? I have no idea. But I still brought that up. Not only that, I also told you guys in my last video that there was some electrician work done on Nancy's house, okay? That was done back in, I think it was November. And then there's a person who signed off on it in January, okay? They signed off on it in January. I don't know if they're responsible, but another person is Tommaso's bandmate. We brought this person up, right? Well, I have somebody that told me this. Now, I don't know if this is true, but this is what this person told me, is that supposedly they live, all right, a couple doors down from the bandmate of Tommaso's bandmate, all right? They said that police has been present. Police have been there the entire day. This was yesterday, all right? And they said the police presence has got more. It's got more frequent. It's got heavier. Not only that, nobody's seen this guy for about a week. They said they used to see him every once in a while, pretty much all the time, because I guess they're only a couple doors down. But now they haven't seen the guy. Now, I don't know how true this is. This is what was relayed to me. So if this is true, where would he be at? If it's true, okay? So far, we don't know. Now, I also have this report too that in addition, the nearby Oro Valley Police Department confirmed it was working with the Pima County Sheriff's Department on an operation. Through a police spokesman would not specify what that was. So the nearby Oro Valley Police Department confirmed it was working with the Pima County. So it sounds like if this is related, if it's related, that they're looking at all these tips, because you got to remember, they're probably getting all these tips in. They're getting a lot of tips, right? And with these tips, they're probably trying to narrow it down. That's probably what they're trying to do. Now, there also was a new ransom note sent to TMZ. Why is TMZ getting everything? Check this out.
TMZ has received another email from somebody demanding money. This is somebody who says they have been trying to get in touch with Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie and Savannah's brother to no avail. And they are now saying that they have information about who the kidnapper is. And they are demanding money. They want 1 Bitcoin, which is around $55,000, $56,000, depending on the hour. They are saying at the end, time is more than relevant. So they have a Bitcoin address, which we have verified is real, and that they want 1 Bitcoin deposited, so in return for giving information about the identity of the kidnapper. Now, again, this is not somebody who says they've kidnapped Nancy. It's somebody who says they know who has.
So TMZ is saying that this person sent in a note through email, and they're saying, hey, I know who did it, but I want at least 1 Bitcoin, okay? Which 1 Bitcoin right now is about 50, 60K. I want to, Bitcoin fluctuates all the time. And I showed you guys what a Bitcoin wallet was. I showed you that in my last video. So if you're new and you want to see how a Bitcoin wallet works, just a quick breakdown I did, just the 2 minutes, I made it simple. You could check out the last video I did. Actually, I should put all these in a playlist so you guys can check them out in order. Well, they're asking for 1 Bitcoin to give up information on who the person who took them is. Could it be because they know this person's dangerous or this organization's dangerous? They want to make sure they got enough money. Like, hey, if I'm putting my name on the line, I got to make sure I can get out. It makes sense. It does make sense. Think about it. If you know somebody that did this, you would be scared too, probably, to put their info out. Especially if you're just a regular, average citizen living an everyday life with just probably a family, working hard, and you don't want anything to be taken away from you. Hey, I understand. This is why some people don't talk. They don't become witnesses because they're scared. And I completely understand. It makes sense, right? But TMZ seems to be getting a scoop on everything. TMZ is known for a lot of gossip. Did you guys know that TMZ is actually known for a lot of celebrity gossip? That's what they're known for, celebrity gossip. They hound celebrities when they're getting off the airport, getting off a plane at the airport, going to the airport, getting on the plane, means of transportation, after concerts. That's a lot of what TMZ does. So it's crazy that TMZ is on this case. Now, it's not too crazy because of Savannah. Savannah is a well-known media face. So it's not too crazy because of that. But when you put the TMZ aspect in it, you start asking yourself, is this real? Is this real life? Is it real life? Because right now it feels like a lot of us are being bamboozled. Is this whole thing even happening real? And I'm just being honest. Some people are questioning if all of this is real. And you know why they're questioning? They're questioning this because you have so many law enforcement agencies involved. You have Border Patrol bringing in the dogs. You have local law enforcement with a sheriff that changes the timeline on things, who says one thing 1 minute and the next thing the other minute. Okay, it looked like he came out of Mayberry somewhere. Now, I'm not knocking him. He might be able to do his job good, but when it comes to the camera, it's not that great. Then you have FBI coming in who's telling us, oh, we can't get camera footage. And all of a sudden they got camera footage. Okay, and if they had this footage for this long and this period of time, I understand that they want to get the jump on the people. I understand that. But we also have a missing person involved, which means time is of the essence, people. So if they didn't have any concrete leads, why not give us this a long time ago? Now, they probably did just get the footage because I explained in my last video how they got this footage because there was no subscription on the camera. So what they had to do was call up Google and get search warrants, probably like, hey, Google, can you give us images on the back end? Meaning every phone, every device we have, your cameras, they record. They keep everything stored in their personal data. Their personal data of your data so they can sell you more stuff.
Actually, most smartphones do not automatically send your photos to a backend or central database. By default, your images are stored locally on your phone's physical memory chip. Here's how the data is handled. 1. Local storage, the default. When you take a photo, it is saved to your phone's internal storage.
You hear that? You hear that? That's what they tell you. That's what they tell you. But that's not true. It's not true. And I didn't even press the button for her to start talking to me. She just felt she had to interrupt and tell me what it is. But that was how they got the footage, okay? That stuff gets stored into their personal data, all right? Look it up. Look it up. Other companies that got sued. Tesla just got sued over that, of recording personal data that you didn't know they were recording. I believe it was Siri got sued too, Apple and them. So these companies will do that, especially Google. And that was Google speaking to us just now. But that was how they got the footage, okay? Now that I got your attention, now that I have your attention, we know Nancy is not the only person that's missing. We all know this. But for some reason, Nancy has took up the whole timeline. The whole timeline. I'm usually able to go into YouTube and type missing woman or missing teenager, and people will pop up. Now I type in YouTube missing woman, even missing teenager, it's all Nancy. Even for missing teenager. Oh man, Nancy. And Nancy's 84 years old. Now, yes, she's missing and we should find her. But what about these other people? And the funny thing is, it's even covering up other stories. The Epstein files has been released, and you barely hear anything about that, right? Even though Savannah was in the Epstein files and Savannah's husband's in the Epstein files, and I explained why they're in the Epstein files in 2 of my videos. I explained it to you guys, why they're even in the Epstein files, over interviewing people. Well, her anyway, Savannah, she interviewing people who was trafficked through Epstein and giving up a lot of information that I guess Savannah knows. Did you know, though? Did you know that somebody emailed, you can, I guess, say a ransom note almost in a way. Somebody got an email asking for 1 Bitcoin. This was like 15 years ago or whatever. Saying, hey, we'll give you the location and information on where some missing people have been buried on Epstein's ranch. Did you know this? Did you know this? This was just out in the news, and they're not telling us. It's funny how somebody got a letter 15 years ago saying, send me Bitcoin and we'll tell you where this missing person is. And now we're hearing about these ransom letters today.
Eddie Aragon says it was early in the morning in November 2019 when he got this email from someone claiming they were a former staffer at Zorro Ranch. Writing, did you know somewhere in the hills outside of the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G. Both died by strangulation during rough fetish.
I got the email. I was startled.
The emailer says they had 7 sex videos, including some with minors, but never actually sent the footage, asking Aragon for digital currency Bitcoin.
Approximately at that time, Bitcoin was worth about $8,000. They wanted in exchange 1 Bitcoin for the videos that they had in possession.
Aragon says he didn't know what to do with the email, so he sent it to the FBI.
I've since referred to the FBI on a number of other things, and I've never heard back from them on anything.
Fast forward 6 years later, the DOJ released Aragon's email as part of the Epstein files.
Matters. I think that New Mexicans need answers. I think the victims need answers.
That's what prompted New Mexico Public Lands Commissioner Stephanie Garcia Richard to send this letter to the Attorney General and the U.S. Attorney's Office Tuesday, asking them to thoroughly investigate this disturbing allegation regarding the referenced burials.
And now that I really got your attention, let's see, and it took me a while to even find these people because Nancy is everywhere. But what about these other people who are missing, who are not getting the same treatment? Okay? Whatsoever.
Wilkes-Barre police are searching for a missing 15-year-old girl. Linnea Clark was last seen leaving her home in South Wilkes-Barre on January 17th. Police say she is deaf and will likely have 2 black hearing aids in her ears. Anyone who sees Clark is asked to call 911.
The Ontario County Sheriff's Office has issued an alert for a missing teenager from Farmington. Deputies say 15-year-old Israel Izzy Marinda was last seen by family early Sunday morning. They say she left the home on her own and recently moved to Farmington from Rochester. Anyone with any information, you are asked to call the number on your screen.
The public's helped to find 16-year-old Zachary Corsiglia. Police say he left his home on Hunterdale Road around 7:30 p.m. and has not been seen or heard from since. He's believed to be wearing a black AC/DC shirt and pajama pants. Police say he has autism and receives medication. If you know anything about his whereabouts, you should call Franklin Police.
And like I said, it took me a while to even find those people. I'm actually going to share with you something real quick. Let's see if I can find it. All right. And I want you guys to let me know if this makes sense or not. Okay. You have all these people, all these people in Tucson looking for Nancy. You got FBI. You even have the FBI director there. Even President Trump flew in there, right? And I understand Savannah is a media figure. I understand the woman's worth $40 million. So she knows way more people than the average person like me and you of our level of missing. So I understand that, okay? I completely do. But you have all these resources there. All these resources. And they still can't find this 84-year-old woman. They can find a person when they owe child support. Child support agency can find almost anybody. But they can't find this 84-year-old woman that's been taken away in 2026 with all these street cameras. Her neighborhood didn't have cameras because of the neighborhood. But I told you guys in a few videos before, as soon as you go out the neighborhood, you go to Skyline Drive, there's a camera. As soon as you go out south, there's a main area with cameras. So with all these agencies in this one area looking, these people ain't got no clue if this guy is innocent that they pulled over last night. Y'all pulling over innocent people now off of a tip. I don't know. Everything just seems suspect. It seems very weird. Very weird. You guys let me know what you think about all this. Do you think the person they pulled over last night has anything to do with it? Or do you think he is innocent and the police are just going out on a whim? You let me know how you feel. Now, I want to say, please like and subscribe. Share the channel as much as you can on all platforms, okay? If you are new to the channel, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. That is the biggest support I can have for everybody who's been following me for a while now. You've been helping my channel blow up. We are almost at 20,000 subscribers in the last 7 months. I am ecstatic over this. I am one of the fastest growing YouTube channels, especially in true crime. Maybe because I'm giving it to you from a different perspective. Everybody else has, retired FBI agents all day long, which is nothing wrong with that. Retired detectives, nothing wrong with that. But what about somebody who can give you the vantage point of the other side of the fence? Somebody who's successfully done something, who evaded them for a long time, that knows how to do it. And that can maybe help them catch these people who are doing these crimes. I'm right here. Contact me. Information's below. Like always, you guys are welcome to hit me up for anything, cases, whatever. Even if you have a loved one that's missing, let me know and I will see what I can do. All right. Please comment below the city where you're from. My membership's available. The Fugitive TV merch is available also too, plus the Ray Marcel collection. This is Fugitive TV. Please take care of one another. Look out when you're around your surroundings. All right. Be observant. I'm out.